Imagine for a moment a treasure chest buried for centuries in the sands of time. Now, visualize that this chest has finally been discovered, revealing not jewels or gold, but rather deep and ancient secrets that can transform our worldview. This is the scenario we enter when talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls, ancient documents that have fascinated scholars, spiritualists, and the curious around the globe. Today, I invite you to embark with me on this journey of discovery and understanding as we decipher the secret code of these scrolls and explore the hidden truths they reveal. The Dead Sea Scrolls were found between 1947 and 1956 in caves near the Dead Sea, in what is now known as the West Bank. It is believed that the scrolls were written by a Jewish sect called the Essenes, who lived in the Qumran region more than 2,000 years ago. These texts include fragments of all the books of the Old Testament, except the Book of Esther, as well as other religious and secular writings not found in the traditional Bible. The frequently asked question is, what do these scrolls have to teach us? Let's dive deep into the waters of the Dead Sea to find out. First of all, we must understand the historical and religious importance of these scrolls. The texts provide an unprecedented insight into the life, culture, and beliefs of the Jews during a critical period of their history. They offer us a window into a world where Judaism was evolving and responding to the political and social pressures of the time. We can see how the interpretation of the scriptures was shaped by these experiences and how it influenced the development of other religious traditions, including Christianity. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Dead Sea Scrolls is the variety of texts they contain. We have everything from the well-known Psalms and Prophets to apocalyptic writings and community rules. Among these documents, the Damascus document and the Community Rule manuscript stand out, providing us with a detailed view of how the Essenes lived. They practiced an austere communal life, with great emphasis on ritual purity and religious observance. This leads us to reflect on how religious groups throughout history have sought ways to live that reflect their deepest beliefs. Another intriguing text is the War of the Sons of Light against the Sons of Darkness, which details an apocalyptic battle between the forces of good and evil. This type of apocalyptic literature is not unique to the Essenes, but has parallels in other religious traditions. It invites us to reflect on the eternal conflict between light and darkness, which is a powerful metaphor not only in a spiritual context but also in our daily lives. The scrolls also contain wisdom texts and hymns, offering a wealth of ancient wisdom. An example is the Thanksgiving hymns, which contain beautiful songs of praise and gratitude. They teach us about the importance of gratitude and worship in spiritual life, something we can apply in our personal journey of spiritual growth. A question that always arises is the esoteric content of the scrolls. The Qumran texts explore a range of themes relevant to esotericism, such as angelology, demonology, and mysticism. In particular, the Essenes had a well-developed understanding of angels and their functions, something reflected not only in the Dead Sea Scrolls, but also in later texts of Jewish mystical literature, such as the Kabbalah. This interest in spiritual realms makes us think about our own beliefs and experiences with the transcendent. Another relevant point is how the Dead Sea Scrolls help us understand the historical and religious context in which Jesus of Nazareth lived. Although Jesus is not mentioned directly in the scrolls, the texts provide us with a clearer picture of the religious and political currents of his time. They show that there was a diversity of views within Second Temple Judaism, and that the Jesus movement may have been one of several religious expressions of that period. This is extremely important as it helps us understand the rich tapestry of beliefs and practices that formed the backdrop to Jesus' life and teachings. The discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls also reveals something interesting about the preservation of knowledge. The Essenes felt the need to hide their texts in caves, perhaps anticipating turbulent times. This act of preservation highlights the importance they attributed to these writings and the desire to keep their spiritual legacy alive. For us, it raises the question of how we value knowledge and wisdom in our own lives. What value do we place on our traditions, and how do we preserve them for future generations? Another crucial point is the interpretation of the scrolls. Since their discovery, The texts have been the subject of intense study and debate. The way we interpret these scrolls can reveal as much about us as about the text itself. Are we inclined to see a reflection of our own beliefs and values in the way we understand these writings? This reflection leads us to self-examination about our own subjectivity and how it influences our reading of sacred and historical texts. Reading and interpreting the Dead Sea Scrolls is not a simple task. It requires a deep understanding of the historical, linguistic, and cultural context. However, this complexity is what makes the study of these texts so rewarding. They challenge us to go beyond the surface and seek a deeper understanding of the mysteries of life and spirituality. They invite us to be true researchers, investigating both the outer world and our own inner world. The teachings contained in the Dead Sea Scrolls resonate to this day, offering us valuable lessons. The first is the importance of community and shared life. The Essenes lived in a collective united by common beliefs and practices. In our modern society, often characterized by isolation and disconnection, this emphasis on community can inspire us to seek deeper and more meaningful connections with others. Another teaching is the dedication to purity and ethics. The Essenes practiced a life of rigorous spiritual and moral disciplines. Although we may not adopt the same practices, the idea of living a life of integrity and commitment to our values is a timeless lesson. In a world where we often encounter temptations and shortcuts, this dedication to purity can serve as a guide for our choices and actions. And of course, we cannot ignore the spiritual dimension of the teachings of the Dead Sea Scrolls. The emphasis on the relationship with the divine, the search for spiritual understanding, and the preparation for an eventual end of times are themes that continue to resonate with many of us. These teachings challenge us to reflect on our own spiritual journey and seek a deeper connection with the sacred. The Dead Sea Scrolls also invite us to consider the idea that knowledge can be both a blessing and a challenge. The revelation of these texts has brought valuable light to many unknown aspects of history and spirituality, but it has also generated debates and controversies. This reminds us that the pursuit of knowledge is a continuous journey, full of discoveries and re-evaluations. To conclude this journey through the secrets of the Dead Sea Scrolls, I want to leave a message of encouragement. May we all be inspired by the curiosity and desire for understanding that motivated the Essenes to preserve their texts. May we value and seek knowledge, both old and new, and may it guide us in our own quest for personal and spiritual growth. May we remember the importance of community, ethics, and spiritual dedication in our daily lives. I deeply thank everyone who accompanied us on this exploration of the Dead Sea Scrolls. May these lessons and reflections enrich your lives and inspire your spiritual journey. Until next time, and may the light of wisdom always be with you.